Hello. So glad to be here, and especially after we haven't been in US for 3 years. And then today is a kind of give you a brief introduction about what we have done in the mainland China. And it's kind of different from what we heard of the presentation from this morning or this whole day. It's more about how we implement blockchain technology into manufacturing, into the real economy. So first, a very brief introduction about myself. I'm working for Wanxiang Blockchain Labs since 2015, and also kind of the vice chair of the IEEE Computer Science Blockchain Committee. And then I from a very traditional Chinese-based companies called Wanxiang Group, and it was founded in 1969. And then the main business is about manufacturing, agriculture, and finance. So we have around more than 40,000 employees in China and another 16,000 employees in US too. So why we are interested in blockchain starting from 2015? It's all about the fintech, how we try to implement new technologies to improve the financial services. So we put a lot of research in the AI and also blockchain. The reason is that we also think about the driven factor about all the evolutions that come from technology. So that's why we are interested in AI and blockchain. So we starting from blockchain in 2016, and then founded the first ever blockchain labs in mainland China, and also we put a lot in the investment. First the VC fund called Firm Capital from 2015. It's a $50 million US fund, and then HK Capital, another fund for more than $600 million US by now. And also we hold a lot of kind of blockchain events in mainland China, in Shanghai. So people are always caring about what happens in the blockchain area in mainland China. So from a government document, they always say they divided the blockchain applications into 4 main directions. The first is about real economy, so how we implement blockchain technology into manufacturing, energy, and so on. And also in the social governance, like the government affairs, taxation, copyright, and so on. The third will be the public service, how we using blockchain technology into the urban management, human resource, education, health, and finally about the finance, the trade finance, cross-border finance. So interesting that we try a lot of use cases in mainland China, but most of the applications are technical, doable, but from the commercial side, most of them are not that successful. So let's figure out why, and also it kind of explain the regulation logics in mainland China. So I divide the different ways of using blockchain in 2 dimensions. The first is permission permissionless. So not only because of the regulation issue, also because the consideration, the concerns from the enterprise, we basically will use the permission chain in mainland China, and especially, I think, and also from another dimension is about whether we use tokens or not. So you can see most enterprise we are using is about consortium chain, and you are hearing about Hyperledger and some other consortium chains. So they both on the right, the lower left is kind of a permission and without token. And then for the whole public chain, it's about with token and permissionless, we know like Bitcoin, Ether, and so on. And there is a trend that, what we trying to, because it's hard to have tokens, so more financial elements in the mainland China. So we're trying to like cross the border from the tokens to the, without tokens to tokens, but based on the permission chain. So actually, I think the like R3 and also many financial institutions are on the left side. It's a permission chain, but with tokens on that. So we are trying to like put tokens on the permission chain based on the enterprise use cases. So that's why it's a big difference, like how we using blockchain in the enterprise side and in the Web3 side. And so from an enterprise perspective, so our users, especially for us, the factories, the manufacturing companies, we don't need a single blockchain. What we need is a solution, a platform that can solve our problems. So while we implement blockchain technology into the enterprise, we try to combine different technologies together. So starting from the IoT device or the current internet infrastructure, it's all about data collection. And then use the 5G transmission to transfer data from the edge to the server or to the blockchain. And also, people are concerned about their privacy issues, so we combine privacy computing together. And also, finally, when you get all the data, you need AI to proceed that. So all of these things are based on the blockchain. So we found a working group at the RISC-V Foundation, which is like IoT infrastructure structure. So based on that, we call the blockchain-based trusted digital foundation, which is a platform that we enable all kinds of applications in the enterprise side. So because Wanxiang is starting from the manufacturing side, so we pick up one very interesting market called industrial internet. So during the past 10 or more than 10 years, all the factories put a lot of research in the information infrastructure in the factories. We try to connect all the devices, all the mass systems together. But it's all about inside the factory, connect all the devices, systems inside the factory. And then what's happening is that for the big companies, they always build their industrial internet by themselves and never talk to others. So at the end of the day, the data is on their own factory. So there is so many data isolations happens during the different industry and the whole supply chains. So, but what we try to use the blockchain trying to do is connect these kind of different industrial internet from different countries bring together. So I will use a word that from land to WAN, just like our website, our internet, like 20 or 30 years ago. So then it's a kind of a structure of how we combine all the different technology together to empower the whole manufacturing industry. So in the very basic layer, it's about a consortium blockchain. So there is but the consensus mechanism is different. We use BFT and also supporting EVM, WASM, etc. things, and also different kinds of SDKs on the blockchain side. And based on that, we have a layer called the blockchain as a service. We put all these node management, kind of smart contract management functions in this layer. And upon that is because we need to deal with different users, like big companies, small companies, and also like individual users. So we have different modules specifically designed for different kind of users. We call blockchain working station, blockchain edge gateway, which is more like for the IoT devices, and also for the individual or smaller use cases, like we call monitoring cloud platform. So based on these modules, we have different scenarios like quantity traceability, supply chain storage, and carbon logistics products, and industrial asset digitalization, etc. So there is next is how we structure the whole ecosystem, because in the traditional way, the companies of the factories never want to bring out their own data to others, but they do need the data from the whole industry, from their suppliers, so suppliers of their supplier, like tier 1, tier 2 suppliers. So we tried notion here is about working station, which is kind of a node of the whole consortium blockchain. And so it connects to the factory's ERP system or mass system, but you only put the data that you want to share or want to coordinate with your suppliers into that blockchain working station. So in the worst case, the data in the working station may be leaked, but your whole mass system or ERP system is still secure. So that's a way that we to solve the concerns from the factories. And also for the SMEs, we just provided the cloud-based service to them. And during the whole blockchain system, usually we bring a lot of financial service into that, because usually if you a company want to get loans from the financial institutions, it's pretty hard, because it's kind of hard for them to prove what they provide to the banks are true, are trusted. So as long as everything, the orders, the order books, the logistics, all the information on the blockchain, so it's easier for the financial institutions to provide lower cost financial service to the companies. And also for the regulation, it's easier to look into what's happening in the whole industry and gather information from that. So there is one very restriction use case right now is, as long as you are working, you are service for one like big companies, and then they're only willing to bring their own suppliers to the blockchain. So that means when you try to serve different companies, you need to deploy different blockchains together. So we're trying to use the blockchain technology like to put the different blockchains together from also like the idea from LAN to WAN, try to connect different blockchains, and then at the end of the day, we connect all the suppliers, all the factories in the whole industry into the same blockchain, so that they can like talk to each other more conveniently. And there is we try to figure out what blockchain can solve the problem in the whole manufacturing industry. So we like analyze the whole industry from two dimensions. The first is called supply chain, from the raw materials to the final products and the ship delivery. And another dimension is about the value chain, so from the concepts and requirements from at the very beginning of product design, and also the production, and also maintenance, and at the end of the day, it's the recycle. So we use the blockchain to put all of these two value chains and supply chains together based on the blockchain-based foundation network. And then we found that there is so many use cases that blockchain can really help the industries to improve their efficiency, bring more transparency, and bring more low-cost financial service to the whole industry. So I list a lot of use cases over here, like carbon footprint, and the like digital twin simulation, capacity planning. So there are so many applications that we can really help the industry to improve their efficiency. So I made two use cases over here. The first one is called the trusted supply chain network. So starting from the very beginning, from the raw materials, we put all the information from the very beginning. For the sales, for the warehouse, they put all their like logistic information, orders information on the blockchain. So you kind of can get very trusted information about the whole supply chain on the blockchain. And also we connect that using the IoT devices, using the AI algorithm to connect the whole blockchain system with the existing ERP and math system. And so based on that, we can solve a lot of problems. For example, we must learn a bullwhip effect in the MBA courses. So which means if there is a very small infraction at the demand side, and then case by case at the warehouse, at the manufacturer side, the inflection is getting bigger and bigger. But for this case, as long as everyone can get the very trusted information from the blockchain, so they can planning their production plans, their warehouse plans based on the information that provided by the blockchain. So it's easier for them, for the whole industry to coordinate with each other. So another case about the carbon. So during the past few years, the footprint of a single product is so important for the end users, especially in the European Union. The requirements for the record of each product, especially for the whole life cycle carbon footprint trace, is so important. If you cannot prove what's the emission of the whole life cycle of your product, you will face a very high tax rate when you export products to the European Union. But how you can prove the whole life cycle carbon emission? So we also using blockchain plus IoT devices that from the very beginning we trace the very accuracy carbon emission from the different aspects, for example, from the logistic direction and also from the production direction. So based on the blockchain, you can see exactly what is happening, exactly what the carbon emission is during the whole life cycle of our product. So it's really helpful for the exporters to export their products from their own country, especially to the European countries. So it's really, now I think at the year by year, it should be a mandatory requirement for all the suppliers, especially for the international suppliers. So it's kind of a brief introduction about why we try to implement blockchain technology into the industry, into the manufacturing industry. So look forward to talk to you guys about how we bring Web3 version of blockchain implication into the manufacturing. Thank you.